Okay, what is up everyone? Back with another live stream today. We're just gonna go quickly over the markets. I want to take a look at the crypto coin majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, because a lot of interesting things on the higher time frame has been happening there. So I want to check that out. And then sketch in some possible scenarios on the NASDAQ to take some possible scalps or trades. Put up music here. Check if the sound is alright. Yeah, that should be fine. Going to share the stream in the Discord real quick and then let's hop into the analysis. If you guys are wondering, me and my trading partner, the Chartsmith, we are working on a Discord community. Well, what are we offering in the Discord community? It's a place to be for like-minded traders that use price action strategy. That is the way I trade, that is the way my buddy trades, and that's also how we want to proceed with this community. We want to acknowledge price action trading more into the scene, and from there on, of course, we want to expand our connections in the trading world, get to know new traders, trade together, and just take over the scene, you know. So let me start by sharing this stream into the Discord, pin the message in the stream real quick. There we go. All right. I'm not gonna make it more difficult than it is because I want to go over the more higher time frame today, then instead of zooming in and looking for those scalp opportunities, because I am gonna go to the gym in literally half an hour, so there's nothing right now for me to scalp. So I want to get a few high time frames sketched in for myself and place some alerts. So what has been going on Bitcoin? When we've reached new all-time highs, we did start a consolidation right here, which is pretty much your range, which is fine. But what happened in this range was we were building up a bunch of trend liquidity on the highs, which is not a bad thing. It is just a sign that this is not going to be your top, because we are leaving this behind until we have taken enough on the lows. Then we can start leaving open our liquidity to then go towards the liquidity that we have just built, which is our identified not top here because of all of this liquidity here. Well, we swept that in a pretty aggressive trend building way. This is, of course, this is an aggressive trend, but you also have to look at the way you've came up. Look at all of these higher lows you're building. Bunch of trend liquidity on the lows. Raoui, hey Paul, let's go man, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here, brother. How are you doing today? So this wasn't really a strong way to move up. The same as you could expect from leaving this liquidity here, you can expect the same on these lows, because leaving all of this liquidity here means this is probably not your bottom. So you're gonna return into that. With this down move, we have lured in a bunch of people into a short position, and also this down move. So we have taken those people out and you've started trading away on the most aggressive manner, which is on your breaker. This piece was supposed to bring you towards new highs if you were really bullish. We failed to do so, so that becomes your demand becomes a breaker. That's what we tested, and then we got the expansion towards our draw liquidity, which was here. Good reaction from it, but we tested our pullback before this massive dump, trend liquidity, big push and sweep by a news candle, and now we're just continuing. I don't we would really have to, for in order for me to take longs, we would have to spend some time here, because this is an aggressive way of coming down, not that much trend liquidity. Of course you have this, but you would be looking at something like this for a possible long way. What you want to see is people stepping into the market and then protecting their positions that they have stepped in. For downsides, you're probably going to look at this level. You can see this is a clear support and resistance, and this was pretty much also your last pullback before you've made new lows from here. So our trend is we've made a new lower low. What can we expect after that lower low? That is another lower high for new lower lows. This is support though, but I think we haven't tested this block enough yet, so we have to go in and go in this a bit deeper. Can you look at Ethereum for me? Yes sir, brother, will do. Let me just clean this up. Ethereum. Like I said, I'm not going to zoom in that much. I want to look at the maximum I want to go is to the 1 hour frame. Of course, Ethereum hit all-time high, but I'm not gonna lie, I do not see very much hype about Ethereum anymore, even though we've hit all-time high and we have made this massive run up. But this is also the place where you have to watch out, because of course when you reach all-time highs, especially Ethereum, with the bad news that has been going on, of course, with Ethereum. And what do I mean by bad news? I mean this whole price action. Bitcoin was keep going into price discovery, and Ethereum was just dumping down until we've made this massive move again. So what is up next? Of course, you have your support levels. I want to look at that on the 3-day. This is untested. This is your last price action block before you broke this structure, and this is not really what brought you towards all-time high, because we had another pullback here. We'll get into that in a second, but this could be a point of interest here. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, then this will be your structure low, and because we have such a POI below there where we lured in buyers by going for a higher high but then sweeping it and then making new highs from there, I do think manipulation happened here for in order to push price up. So I would put value to this demand zone here, and I would make this liquidity as well, especially with the scenario that has been going on now. I'm not gonna delete this yet because I'm not really sure what's in here, but we've SFP'd the all-time high while also SFP'ing the piece that brought us towards all-time high, which is this pullback right here. So multiple scenarios are going through my head right now, because what could happen here is after your all-time high hits, of course, a lot of take profits are gonna hit. A lot of stop losses has been hit by the people that have wanted to short Ethereum right here before hitting all-time high. And this is just a place where there's so much liquidity that a reaction like this towards the downside does make sense. So the scenario I was been talking about is, because we have swept such all-time highs, I'm kind of luring into a scenario like this, where this was just a place to lure in more buyers, because if you go up above all-time high, a lot of people are going to step into that buying position and go and are going to FOMO into positions. And if we look at that right now, this is scenario 1 I would be looking at. And let's look at the local picture, because you can, instead of looking at this, luring in buyers and then trying to take them out here and then moving in the desired direction again, you can also look at it this way, which is a liquidity hunt. And I do see something here which is pretty bearish for Ethereum, and that is taking your all-time high, getting a sell reaction, people thinking we're SFPing those highs, and then getting that sell reaction, then sweeping all of those people one more time, and then continuing with your down move. For now, on the 4-hour time frame, Ethereum is down until proven otherwise. What we are doing is a bunch of trend liquidity here though. This was your last bit of price action before you broke towards new all-time highs again. So this would be another bearish scenario, because we have made a high, a low, a higher high, and we've now made new lower lows. We could expect a lower high for new lows. In combination with all this trend liquidity, this would be a great short POI. And it's not just this block, right? You can draw it in all the way from here. You have all this space above the liquidity to look for a possible quick reaction. For now, it looks like we swept everything locally here in this whole up move. Yeah, we did. We've also made our first change of character. I'm curious what happened here. Okay, those were equal highs. You can see here the market doing this little trick here, luring in more buyers here. That makes it interesting to sweep it again. Also sweeping this with it. And then, man, old liquidity is so crazy. And this was your level to gain for in order to expect more upside here towards those equal highs. Let's look at the 1 minute. Not really on hindsight an easy one, but what you can do is you went up here, made a low. This is what tried to push you towards new lows, but it failed doing so. So if you flip it, your supply becomes a breaker and it becomes support. This would really be your only way of playing this bottom on ETH. But then again, this is great, these 3 taps, but we are grinding up with a bunch of retail liquidity here. I am looking, I don't think this could be a low in the long term. We at least have to test something back down here, so we could have this more high time frame pivot point to look for longs. For now, we do have this change of character. This is just bullshit liquidity. And you kind of want to look at it from here. I'd be looking at this box for local longs on Ethereum. As long as we do not test this back. Because the short scenario I've put in here at the highs could also be at the lows here. Because before we actually broke this low, which switched our order flow from bullish to bearish, it was this move that caused us to break it. So you could also draw this in as a whole supply here. I think I am gonna fine tune it though. To this little bit. This would be your internal supply. This is also where you could reject from. Now I still went to the low time frame. I just can't help myself. That was Ethereum, my brother. Rawi. Just have to watch out and see what happens here. ADA, every time I come across this coin, this is what I always mark out at first. I literally can't believe we've left these equals open at on Cardano, because that just makes it feel like such a magnet for me. It doesn't even have to be these equals, because this has been hunted, but equals compared to this one at least. But then again, if we do not need it, we do not need it. This daily structure is what brought you all the way up to new highs. But I also do want to point out this higher time frame possible distribution. But then again, go on the 6 hour and you are building up the juicy trend liquidity again. So could it be a top? It doesn't have to be. I would still be bullish if we've managed to keep this low and start trading away from there. This would also be your whole supply, because this is the pullback that brought you all the way up towards new highs. Broke structure here. The higher time frame, it's a liquidity hunt, but this is still the piece where sellers stepped in, buyers took over and pushed us towards a new high. It's unfortunate that we have gotten this liquidity hunt, because if we just went down while building all of these highs and trying to create a bottom like this, then it could have been very interesting. But because of this quick sweep, we could expect some more downside from there. Rowie, good luck, brother. Hope to see you again soon, and thank you for being here. Okay, let's quick sneak peek on the lower time frame though, because we have come into a point of interest here for me. Pretty scary. This is what you would have to gain for an order for more upside. But look at the way we're coming up. I do like this local bit. But look at how weak we're just grinding up. This is strength. This is pretty weak for now on. We'll have to sweep this, take out all this trend liquidity, and then form a little bottom like this. So down until proven otherwise. Shorts could be great. This would be your extreme lick. I like how we front run this liquidity traded below this low, luring a lot more sellers into the market and then sweeping this bit. If we do want to hold this high right here, then this could be your reversal point. Towards at least this already has been tested. No preference really, because you have nothing to test back here. This is pretty well structured. You have tested every demand back, so I don't particularly see a reason here to test back except for all of this liquidity. Quick Solana. I mean, these are just macro tops. I mean, how long have you been in this range? Pretty much a month. Market over here also down until proven otherwise. We broke this low. We even traded below lows, luring in sellers, sweeping that, and then moving in the desired direction, which is down. So this trend is down until proven otherwise. Of course, good liquidity sweep, and we could expect a reaction here, but the trend is still down. This is not how you leave lows behind. This is what we're rejecting right now. Did gain this. The supply actually is from there. Gaining this probably more upside towards this trend liquidity here. But if you do start to lose here, then we are just expecting new lows. Last thing I'm gonna do is check out the NASDAQ. Remove 84 drawings. Yes, please.
Soda is harder than anything.
Oh. Check something real quick. Yes, sir. NASDAQ. You know, NASDAQ information I cannot just spit freely, to be honest. have to be very careful when analyzing NASDAQ about what I am gonna say and what I'm not gonna say. This is beautiful, of course. When you've made a high, a low, and you've come back to the middle point, you have a range. And we're still holding that 1.3 of the range. This also combines with not that. I would love to see a quick sweep here, or a quick test here, because you can see if you look to the left, look at what an interaction this zone has. This is a great support resistance, also combining with this breaker. And what I like about this is we had this internal block, which was never tested, and we absolutely blasted through it. So there's definitely still liquidity in this whole area to pick up. And I would love to see a quick shoot down, testing it, and then moving towards this liquidity that we have built. That would be good. That's not the case. Remove this. Still need to gain this for upside toward all of this liquidity in the first place. If we do not gain this, we do not have a good guarantee to go there. Oh. A Kate Shop for You page, let's go. Nero, welcome man. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. How have you been doing, man? I haven't spoken to you in a very long time. We always used to pretty actively trade crypto together. Yeah, there's still just no... I am really gonna wait for this test down here. For now, make new lows. You put this high in to make new lows. This could still be internal and you could still make another lower high for new lows. This is to build extra liquidity, make this higher low here, push in some more longers. If we do take that out, then you do have a beautiful zone to gain here. Test our POI that we have been talking about, gain the old liquidity, and then we could see some upsides if we want to go up towards all of this liquidity that we have been building. Eating on Forex these days. The fact that you're using the word eating says enough for me. Good that everything's going well there, man. How long have you been trading Forex now? I mean, since 2-3 years ago, I can remember you also were into Forex a bit, but not 100%, a lot of crypto still, but has been going well on the fundeds, I guess. Okay, I still want to look at Bitcoin locally. And then I'm gonna go end the stream, go to the gym. That also has to happen. Okay, if we look at this structure-wise, we have this low, this high that brought us towards new lows. So that would also mean, if you say it really bold, everything that's happening between is internal, but our expectational order flow is still new lows. Did we actually do it here? These are equal lows. Okay. But look at the way how price has been going up here. We're just building liquidity. We have equal lows. And you can also see we have a good point of liquidity here, combined with our demand below it. So expectancy is still moving towards it. Maybe we can we have to sweep something first before we move there. But anyways, there's nothing really interesting to be seeing here. I could not believe I was listening to that song. Somewhere 2024 shifted focus from scalping crypto to forex, and crypto more into the swings. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to focus on scalping on both. I've tried doing that. Right now I'm doing that with the NASDAQ, and I'm just picking back crypto up. But it is difficult to manage everything on time, especially if you're using different strategies in those different markets as well, on those assets. So I'm picking up back crypto since I've been streaming literally 3 days ago. I've been picking YouTube back up again. And with me picking YouTube back up, I'm also picking up crypto trading again. So we're gonna see how that goes, but from my backtesting and from the things I have drawn in, especially from my stream yesterday, I actually missed this long on Link. You've tested this breaker down here, which brought you towards new highs. Yes, this could be a distribution, but that doesn't mean you cannot get a reaction here. Really nicely gained this old low, and if we look at the 1 minute, we have this beautiful structure pool with 2 candles as well that brought us towards new lows. That's when you made a new higher high. So this is your change of character. And what can we expect after a higher high? Of course, that is a higher low for new highs. Why enter on this breaker? Because this is what tested you towards those new lows. And because I'm on the 1 minute, you would also expect price, if you break it, to use it as support and then just continuing towards your drawn liquidity, which was right here. Man, yesterday was crazy. I think because of the news, market dumped so hard. I think some news came out. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it, but could be. Injective also is looking like a correction. And remember, when the alts look like they want to correct, which they do, and Ethereum has just swept all-time high, and it could be creating a topping formation here, and it's now down until proven otherwise. No matter if this is a good support zone, and yes, we do have this scenario drawn in, But if you never manage to break this local trend towards it, then we're just gonna keep on dumping. And that means the alts are gonna correct some as well. Here, maybe here. Also link aligning with this previous structure towards this high here. I think we can go here for almost 100% sure. Of course, you're never 100% sure, but it's looking pretty obvious. Okay. Well, that's gonna be it for today. Quick little stream, half an hour, which is fine. Quickly went over some high time frames. Also, when I do a live stream every day, I am gonna come back into the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, for scalping today, nothing interesting. Maybe tonight, but we'll see. Everything that could still happen, or the scenarios I've drawn in. Or the scenarios that I've drawn in the stream here. If you do want to keep updated on those scenarios, there is a Discord that I've been working on with my trading buddy, and it also includes free education which we're working on. It's all based on price action, no indicators, no fluff, no, just pure price action from my own beliefs and views, which has been backtested for over 3 to 4 years minimum. So if you do want to enjoy that, the link is literally in this chat. It's pinned as well, so feel free to join. You're absolutely welcome. And I will see you all in the next stream. Thank you for being here.